What's up, what's going on, legends? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're diving into Modern Warfare Zombies, and I'm bringing you guys the mission guide for all the Act 1 Tier 5 missions. All right, so first up, we have Hands Off. This one is going to be 3 parts and can be a little bit tedious, just kind of depending on the luck that you get. Part 1 is asking us to kill 20 zombies with sentry guns. First things first, you're going to need to get access to a sentry gun. So if you guys get extremely lucky, maybe you'll come across one looting. I don't know if I've even ever actually found one doing that. However, the easiest way to actually get access to a sentry gun would be to go ahead and infill, complete the contracts until you're able to rack up a few thousand essence. It will only cost you 2,000 essence for a single sentry gun. However, I'm definitely going to recommend you guys get your hands on at least a few of them because you're more than likely going to need multiple in order to complete this mission. Once you guys are able to get enough money, head over to the Tier 2 zone. You're going to need to go over to one of the buy stations because they're only available in Tier 2 or higher buy stations. You go to the buy station where you'll then be able to purchase a sentry gun for 2,000. Once you guys actually have access to the sentry gun, prepare to take this mission on. So like I said, part 1's asking us to kill the 20 zombies with the sentry guns. Now originally, before they nerfed the exfils, I would recommend you guys go over to an exfil, drop the sentry gun, call the exfil in, and this could still be enough zombies available for you guys actually to knock this out doing this. However, if you guys are struggling at all to find enough zombies, or you feel like you might struggle to have enough zombies with the sentry gun that you're placing, head over to a contract. You guys can choose to do the Outlast, which is the one with the satellite, or even an escort contract. You can probably get away with it as well, because obviously during the escort contract, at some point the rover meets up with the Aether, and then a ton of enemies spawn in. If you guys manage to place the sentry gun at the time that the rover stops, you guys should be able to get way more than enough zombies. At any point that you guys are able to get the 20 zombies with the sentry guns, part 1 is then complete. Now part 2 is a little bit more challenging. It's asking us to kill 10 mercenaries with sentry guns. Now you're going to go ahead and do the same thing you did for part 1 in order to get access to them. But once you guys actually have the sentry guns in your inventory, you're then going to want to make your way over to where mercenaries are located. Now you have a couple of different options. You guys can make your way over to one of the encampments, place the sentry gun down, hope that it has good visibility and is able to eliminate some mercenaries that way. But my recommendation for doing this would be to go and get an Aether extractor contract once you've gotten a few sentry guns in your inventory, or you have multiple teammates that have them as well. Going and getting that contract, which then allows the 3 rockets to be called in. At each of the rocket locations, there will be mercenaries available, and even in some cases, there are reinforcements to come in as well. A very carefully or well-planned sentry gun placement might actually be able to get you the 10 mercenaries with a single placement. However, I did have issues with my sentry gun actually engaging with the mercenaries at all, so in most cases, it wasn't even actually shooting at the mercenaries. It did take me quite a few sentry guns to be able to get the 10 mercenary eliminations, but again, hit up those mercenary camps, place them in front, allow the sentry gun to do as much as it possibly can. If you guys are struggling to get it to shoot, just know that I had the same issues as well. If not, head over to the extractor contract where you guys should be able to get this knocked out. Once you guys are able to get the 10 mercenary eliminations with the sentry guns, part 2 is then complete. Now part 3 is just asking us to acquire a cipher tablet. Now with any of the missions that do require cipher tablets, they are dropped at any point throughout that mission. So realistically, you could eliminate your first mercenary with a sentry gun. That could be the time you see a cipher tablet drop. So basically what I'm saying is at any point throughout the mission, you guys should see ciphered tablets dropped as long as you have this mission equipped. Then at any point during that mission, you guys are then able to get access to one of those ciphered tablets, pick it up, and then part 3 and this mission will be complete. Next up, we have Blasted. This one is going to be 2 parts, and it actually is one of the more tedious missions in this tier. Part 1 is asking us to destroy armor on 25 zombies using Shatter Blast ammo mod. Now this is going to be the one that looks like a little explosion symbol, and one of the best ways to get access to ammo mods, obviously it's a little bit of RNG involved, is going in and clearing infested strongholds or the mercenary strongholds. If you're able to loot all the caches inside, increasing your odds of getting access to the Shatter Blast ammo mod. Now of course, if you guys do have access to the schematic, you could then craft one of these for free, which then would allow you to start your match already having access to the Shatter Blast ammo mod. But if you guys are looking for how you guys could get access to one of these pretty easy, I definitely recommend looting those strongholds, and eventually you guys will get access to one. Once you guys do have that Shatter Blast ammo mod in your possession, you're then ready to equip it to a weapon to then destroy the armor on the 25 zombies. Now based on the description for part 1, we know that it has to be an armored enemy. Now the best way to go about doing this is depending on the weapon that you're using. So if you already have a pack 1 weapon, you might have to go over to the pack 3 area in order for this to work out. However, I definitely recommend not pack-a-punching your weapon at all, putting the Shatter Blast ammo mod on, and then heading over to the Tier 2 zone. Basically, what you're looking to do is find the armored enemies, which are more frequent, obviously in the Tier 2 zone and Tier 3 zones, and the idea is to be using an underpowered weapon. That way the zombie has no real chance of getting eliminated before the Shatter Blast ammo mod actually pops. So once you guys have the ammo mod equipped, you guys have an underpowered weapon, and you're headed over to a zone where you know the zombies are going to be a little bit too strong, because we'll then look for those armored enemies, continue to shoot them with this ammo mod. Eventually the ammo mod will activate, popping the Shatter Blast, which should then break the armor of the armored zombie. You're going to need to continue to do this on 25 zombies, which obviously requires 25 armored ones, which you guys will just repeat this process hanging out in the Tier 2 or Tier 3 zone, basically just fighting those overpowered zombies. That way you guys aren't able to eliminate them faster than you're able to get the Shatter Blast ammo mod to pop. I promise you, if you guys go and fight overpowered zombies using this method, you guys will be able to knock out the 25 destroys way faster than if you guys are just running around the Tier 1 zone hoping for the Shatter Blast mod to activate. activate. More than likely, you're not going to find a lot of armored enemies in that area anyway, so you would essentially just be making this mission significantly harder. Once you guys are able to destroy the armor on the 25 zombies while using the Shatter Blast ammo mod, part 1 is then complete. Now part 2 is just asking us to acquire a ciphered tablet. Just similar to the last mission as we discussed, this ciphered tablet will show up at any point throughout the mission, so any of the enemies that you destroy with the armor on, eventually you guys will eliminate them. They should drop a ciphered tablet. So at any point while you have this mission equipped, anytime you grab a ciphered tablet, it will knock out part 2 and complete this mission. Next up, we have Bring 'em On. This one is going to be a 3-parter and does require you to use a specific field upgrade, as part 1 asks us to kill 50 zombies with Frenzied Guard field upgrade. So what you guys are going to want to make sure you do is go over to your field upgrade before you actually infill, select the one that says Frenzied Guard, which basically just allows you to replenish armor plates while killing enemies during the time it's activated, and it also causes all the enemies to kind of aggro in your direction while the activation process is also going on. Now that you have Frenzied Guard equipped, you're going to go ahead and infill, and the only thing you need to do first is go ahead and build up that field upgrade. My recommendation for this would be going and hitting a contract, something like the Outlast or Escort, that does have a ton of zombies or enemies that you'll be able to eliminate, because the more zombies you eliminate, the faster your field upgrade will build up, and you're going to need this field upgrade in order to be able to eliminate the zombies while it's active. Once you guys are able to actually build up that meter and the Frenzied Guard is then available, you guys are going to want to wait for a large horde of zombies or build up as many zombies as you can. You'll then pop that Frenzied Guard field upgrade, and you'll then be able to eliminate the enemies. It does activate for a good amount of time, so you guys should have plenty of time to get some eliminations, but it is more than likely that you'll have to activate the Frenzied Guard 2 or 3 times or to be able to get the 50 zombie eliminations that you need. Kind of just depends on how many zombies you have in the area or what contract you're choosing to do. Once you guys are able to eliminate the 50 zombies with the Frenzied Guard field upgrade, part 1 is then complete. Now if you time things correctly, you can actually knock out part 2 alongside part 1, as it's asking us to kill a special or elite enemy with Frenzied Guard. Now I definitely recommend the Escort contract for this, as it's going to bring in a significant amount of the specials or elites that you need, and at some point during that there will also be mobs of zombies. So once you guys actually see like a Mangler, a Disciple, or a Mimic come in, you guys are choosing to do the Escort contract, likely it's going to be a Mangler. Once you do actually see the Mangler, you can pop that Frenzied Guard, make sure to focus him first, take him out, and all the zombies around him will be a bonus. So at some point you guys will more than likely knock out part 2 before part 1, but you can kind of do them both simultaneously. Once you guys are able to take out a Mangler, Mimic, or even a Disciple while that Frenzied Guard is activated, part 2 will be complete. Now part 3 is asking us to acquire a ciphered tablet. Now we kind of already went over this in the previous 2 missions. At any point during the mission that you're getting the eliminations on the zombies, or you guys do kill the elite or special zombie, a ciphered tablet will be dropped and you guys can pick it up. At any point throughout the mission that you guys do pick that up, part 3 will be complete, and as long as you got the other 2 parts knocked out, so will this mission. Next up, we have Hostile Takeover. This one is going to be 2 parts and could take you a little bit of time. Part 1's asking us to loot 3 safes. Now you have a couple of options when going for this. You guys can go ahead and hit up the raid weapon stash contracts, which are on the map. You guys should be able to know what these are, as they're kind of represented by what looks like a weapon stash or a weapon safe on the contract itself. You guys will go over, grab that contract. It'll send you over to a location. You guys will clear out the area where you guys will then see the weapon safe. You'll go up to it, initializing a progress bar by activating it. This will defend it for the duration of that time. Once you guys obviously survive that time period, the safe will then open. Once that progress bar is complete, the safe will open and should count as one of the safes that you need to loot. Now you guys can choose to repeat the same process going for 2 more raid weapon stash contracts, or you guys can use the method that I chose, which was to go for the mercenary encampments, grab the mercenary stronghold key card, or go and hit up the contracts, which allowed you to get enough essence to then head over to a buy station to purchase one for 2,000. I then went over, got a couple of these. My teammate also grabbed a couple of these. Then we just headed over to the mercenary stronghold, which is represented by what looks like a small castle as its icon. You guys will then head over to these, where you'll be able to unlock the doors with the mercenary key cards, clear them out, and once you guys actually clear them out, somewhere on the top floor usually is a safe you guys can then unlock. You guys then activate the safe similar to the raid weapon stash. The progress bar shows up, you defend it for the duration of that. The safe then opens, you guys will be able to open the safe and it'll count as progress. So once you guys are able to do 3 raid weapon stash contracts or head over to 3 mercenary strongholds and clear them, opening the 3 safes, part 1 is then complete. Now part 2 is just asking us to kill 50 enemies while drilling safes. Now this is going to be pretty hard to not knock out while you're doing part 1, because if you are initiating the safes and obviously being able to open and loot 3 of them, during that process you guys should be eliminating enemies. Basically my recommendation is go over to the mercenary stronghold, do that one first. You guys will obviously start the safe drilling process. During that, a bunch of mercenaries will come in. It will give you a good chance to probably knock out at least half of these eliminations that you need. A nice little trick that you can use in the mercenary strongholds is try to eliminate the least amount of enemies possible. Start the safe drill filling process. Then once that progress bar actually shows up, you can then eliminate all the enemies inside. At any point that you do have the progress bar on your screen, those enemy eliminations should count towards your progress. And once you're able to eliminate the 50 enemies, which should be pretty easy by the time you visit 3 safe locations, you guys will knock out part 2 and complete this mission. Next up, we have Chaperone. This one is going to be 4 parts, and the difficulty is going to depend on how well you prepare before going into it. Part 1 asks us to complete an escort contract. This is pretty straightforward. You're going to go ahead and open up your tac map. You'll be looking for the contract phone that does have the little tank on it, or what looks like a little tank, actually a rover. You'll head over, grab it. It will send you to a rover location, which is typically right next to where you're at. It drops the rover off. You guys will go over to the rover's location, hit the button on the back, which will start the escort process. You guys will escort the rover to 3 stopping point locations. Once it hits the 3rd one, then finishes its little process, the rocket will shoot up off of the rover itself, blowing up and completing the contract. But once you guys are able to actually complete the escort contract, part 1 is then complete. And part 2 is asking us to kill 75 zombies during a single escort contract. So you guys can actually knock this out simultaneously with part 1, as long as you're eliminating all the enemies quick enough. I don't know if there's actually a way for you to fail part 2, because more than likely, I feel like there's more than enough enemies during the process where you will have no choice but to eliminate 75 zombies. I think the only chance you don't kill 75 zombies is if you actually fail to complete the contract. And if you actually failed the contract, you wouldn't even knock out part 1. So I think if you're successful with this contract, no matter what, it's more than likely you guys will probably have killed the 75 zombies. Just remember your teammates' eliminations do count as well. And if for some reason you guys don't get the 75 eliminations, maybe you guys got a dud as far as your contract is concerned and you didn't get enough zombies spawning in, you guys will just go and complete a second one. Regardless, once you're able to kill the 75 zombies during this single escort contract, you guys will then have knocked out part 2. Now part 3 is asking us to maintain the ACV's health above 50%. Now this is basically the rover's health bar, which is represented on the left where the progress bar would be for some of the other missions. So you guys will be able to see what the health bar is at all times, and anytime the rover actually makes a stop, it can be helpful to have a monkey bomb, Casimir, or the decoys, which you guys can actually equip by default. That way when the wave of zombies spawns in, when the rover interacts with the Aether, you guys can then throw one of these, kind of forming all the zombies into a group, eliminating them significantly faster, defending the rover at a much higher rate. The idea here is to just keep as many of the zombies away from the rover as you can, because the zombies do a ton of damage a lot faster than it would seem like they do. So you guys might turn your head away, start shooting a mangler to eliminate that guy, and notice 10 to 15% of the health is gone from the zombies. So you're just definitely going to want to make sure you have something like a decoy, monkey bomb, or Casimir to help you in those hard situations. But once you guys are able to survive the entire escort contract, keeping the health above 50%, part 3 is then complete. Part 4 is asking us to exfil with that quick revive recipe. It's possible you complete the contract successfully, you eliminate the 75 zombies, but you don't manage to keep the health above 50%. When you go to hit the reward, it won't actually show the quick revive recipe. If that's the case, you guys would then complete another contract. Obviously, you would have to anyway to knock out part 3, but once you guys actually complete that second contract, within the reward should be the quick revive that you need. So if you guys don't see it in your first one, because maybe you failed one of these parts, don't worry. You guys will be able to complete another contract and get access to it. But once you guys are able to get access to the quick revive recipe upon completing the escort contract, the only thing left to do is exfil safely. Head over to your nearest exfil successfully, and part 4 and this mission is then complete. Next up, we have our last and final mission in Act 1, Tier 5, known as Nest Record. This one is going to be 3 parts, as part 1 is asking us to obtain a gas mask. Now, this is more than likely something you've already acquired, so if you already have access to a gas mask, once you actually infill, it will knock out the first part automatically. But if you do need access to a gas mask, I recommend looting around the map. Of course, at any time you guys eliminate zombies, there's always a possibility a gas mask drops, and the exfil choppers always have one available as well. So you guys could actually grab one on one of your exfils, and then when you guys get to this mission, upon actually getting into it, you'll already have it equipped. Once you guys actually get access or obtain a gas mask, part 1 is then complete. Now, part 2 is asking us to destroy an Aether nest. And once you are ready and equipped with your gas mask, you'll open up your tac map. You're going to be looking for the symbol that looks kind of like a virus. At least that's what I would refer to it as. You guys will head over to this location. It will be basically the mercenary camp equivalent to the infested stronghold. So just like the mercenary camp kind of leads to the mercenary stronghold, the Aether nest is kind of like the smaller version of the infected stronghold. So it's going to have cysts in it on the walls. It will have significantly less than if you go to an infected stronghold. And it does help a lot if you guys get death perception before going over to this, as you guys will be able to see the cysts through the wall. It will allow you to navigate to those a little bit quicker, allowing you to clear all the cysts pretty easily. And once you guys actually do so, that does destroy the Aether nest, completing part 2. Now, part 3 is asking us to acquire a ciphered tablet. Very similar to the other missions requiring ciphered tablets. At any point you do have the mission equipped and you are doing any of the tasks at hand, one of these ciphered tablets should drop. You guys should be able to go within the Aether nest and find this on the ground, grab this ciphered tablet in part 3, and this last mission in Tier 5 should be complete. Now that's going to wrap things up for today's mission guide on Act 1 Tier 5 missions. Thank you guys for all support in today's video, all support the channel, and I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace.